All right. And let's get going. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Transform Sales podcast. You are looking at the Sales Software Review series, and I'm here today with Michael. Michael, how you doing today?
Pretty good. Can't complain. How's it going, Eddie?
Awesome. Pretty good as well. Cannot complain except for a little bit of the market crash, but that's a different topic. Michael, let's get into the point of our session today. What is the name of the software product that you want to present?
So today I'm presenting SellMeThisPen AI.
Sell me Sell me this pen.ai sounds pretty interesting. Who is the ideal customer for Sell me this pen.ai?
So typically we work with sales organizations with 50 plus sellers. Initially we started serving SMEs, agencies, small startups. We are going up market, so mostly focused on mid-market enterprise companies based out of US. So these are companies that typically have a sales enablement, let's say headcount, and also we directly work with VPs of Sales, and we serve SDRs, BDRs, and also AEs.
Mhm. Perfect. We're going to look specifically into how your product ties into each of those roles in just a moment when you give us a quick demo. I love the name, by the way, made very popular recently with Wolf of Wall Street movie and Jordan Belfort's, let's say, owns life dramatization or movie about his own life, right?
We're against it though. Like we're not promoting that methodology, but yeah.
That's true. That's true. That was a whole different method. Now, what does your software Sell Me This Pen.ai helps users do that they couldn't do before your software existed?
Great question. Look, there are quite a few things, but the main one I would say offering individual practice and coaching at scale. So instead of watching call recordings or spend a lot of time doing manual role plays or manager one-on-ones, you can automate all this with Sell Me the Spend in an all-in-one basically platform.
Okay, so we've all seen that coaching is a very important element to ramping up a team, to upskilling, to always have your tools and your processes, your methods, your skills honed in. But sometimes execution gets in the way, or preparing the execution gets in the way, as you just said it, listening to the calls, understanding what could be the feedback. Sometimes there's a lot of feedback that you can give. Providing that in chunks as a manager, that may take time. It gets in the way, so it doesn't get done. People don't receive enough coaching. So it seems like your tool really helps alleviate that issue by providing an alternative through AI to have more coaching so that as a rep, you have more ideas or more, let's say, a better north on your compass onto what to work on to better convert to have a more successful role as a salesperson. Is that correct?
That's absolutely correct. And also you receive an unbiased, let's say, coaching, because sometimes like we know, like human to human is uncomfortable. Sometimes even, as a human being, you might be a great coach or a great leader, but providing a consistent or a standardized way of giving this, let's say, coaching on areas of improvement, it's very difficult. With AI, we always make a joke that, hey, everybody gets the same, at least, biased opinion, so it could be the same thing across the board for everyone.
I love that angle. Sometimes, yeah, maybe me as a rep, I may feel a little bit sensitive some way about the way I receive the feedback. But in this case, if I know it's coming from AI, from a machine, it's like, hey, maybe I didn't like the words, but after all, it's just the message, right? I need to work on that. I love it. Now, how should your clients measure the success of Sell Me This Pen.ai?
Mhm. Look, it really depends on the use case, but to give you an idea, like generally speaking, we see typically 2 to 3x shorter the RAM time during onboarding. So this is a very big use case for us. And also time to close. So typically companies that work with us, we look at their historic data to benchmark, and compare with what happens when you get selling the spend, and start leveraging it. We typically see like 2 to 3x again shorter time to first deal close, especially for more fresh, green reps, and also increasing close ratio, because we help reps build this muscle memory and they be more familiar with the product you're selling, with personas that you're having a conversation with, so they can perform better.
Okay, now you're probably going to give me more clarity into what I'm about to ask once we see the demo, but high level, you mentioned the close rate should be higher, but it was my impression that the co-pilot, the assistant that is SellMeThisPen AI, was more suited towards the opener, the person that's doing the prospecting. Let's say typically the business development representative or sales development representative, rather than the account executive that is typically in B2B doing the closing. So quickly, can you help us understand? Is it mainly for SDRs and appointment setters? And yes, as you help them ramp up or yeah, ramp up and increase their productivity or speed up the time at which they process and book their appointments, that will affect, of course, the close rate. So was that what you were referring to, or is there also added value for the account executives and how they do, let's say, their meetings and their ability to close an opportunity based on the AI and the analysis and the feedback that they get in real time?
Oh, that's a great question. We actually help both SDRs and AEs. So, to be more specific for account executives, with AI Copilot, what we do is we remind them to ask the right questions and handle objections consistently on the calls. So, yes, if you are a seasoned enterprise, AE, that's a different story. We typically don't even serve like really, tenor reps. But for someone who's selling, commercial deals, or they're working with more mid-market, let's say clients, we help them run better discovery calls and also help them handle these objections easier. When we do the demo, you're going to get more familiar with it. And also at the same time, we help them do less admin work so they can be more focused on the conversation rather than taking notes or updating CRM or drafting email. We take care of all of that for them. So the value is not only about like necessarily the performance right on the call, but also after effect, we help them do less admin work so they can focus on getting better and closing deals.
That sounds pretty powerful, Michael. Is there a chance I can use Sell Me This Pen AI as a co-pilot for my podcast recordings?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. So in that case, let's go ahead and look into a demo of the platform. Why don't you share the screen and show us how it would look like to use it, please?
Yeah, absolutely. So let me share my screen.
All
Perfect.
right, perfect.
So we're going to start with the first module, which is AI role play. So this typically happens, pre-calls. Reps use it to practice with different buyer personas. It could be custom built based on your industry, based on your product or service you are offering. And also, you can, go super deep into adding different objections or scenarios relevant to your client type. So this way, these role plays are more, relevant to your use case. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a quick cold call with Jax and sell me the spend. I'm not going to do the entire 7 minutes, let's say, cold call. Just want to give you an idea, how these AI bars actually interact with you.
Hello?
Jax, this is Michael with Sell Me the Spend. You don't know me, and I'm actually cold calling you. Would you give me 30 seconds to tell you why I called you specifically, or you'd rather hang up?
Yeah, I'm kind of busy right now, so I don't think I'm really interested.
I get it, man. It seems like I really caught you at a bad time where you really hate receiving cold calls as much as I hate doing them.
Yeah, totally.
All right, I'm gonna stop it right here. I guess you get an idea of what's going on here. You go back and forth like an actual cold call, but we are not limited to do only cold calls. You can practice discovery, demo calls, negotiation, closing, etc., etc. And after each call, you can get instant coaching, or you can role play with more characters. So I'm going to keep the coaching for the end because I want to show the real time portion as well. So then I'll show you how you can run one-on-one coaching sessions with AI, like the way you do it with your managers.
Perfect. So far we've seen the use case of AI applied to ramping up a new rep, or training an existing rep on maybe a new methodology, a new market, a new product, and getting them to role play with AI so they can get more leads by themselves before they actually practice with a real customer. And of course, ramp up faster, immediate feedback, even if your coach is busy at that moment or the supervisor. This can be a good way to either get them trained up or supplement whatever training is in place.
That is absolutely correct.
Fantastic. Let's go to the next use case that you mentioned.
Awesome. So let me stop sharing the screen and move to another. So the next module is the AI Copilot. So just imagine we are running this, let's say Google Meet, and you're my.
Once again, Michael, can you mute yourself on Google Meet for a moment before you? Yeah, yeah, yeah. As you give the explanation. Thank you.
Okay, great. So again, during client conversations, this AI Copilot will pop up here automatically. And the idea is to help reps structure the call better through these playbooks, and you can build different playbooks for different scenarios. So here, just imagine it's a discovery call. So you have all these questions or tips, if you will, during the call. So you can ask these questions easier, structure the call again. And also, unlike tools like Chorus or Gong that give you some reality check about your talk ratio, for us, it happens in real time. So if I'm talking too much, again, this little box here turns red and tells me, hey, you're talking too much. Take a step back, ask a question. You can get some tips here, again, some immediate coaching on the call. So if I interrupt my clients or tend to, again, talk too much or feature dump, AI will remind me. And also you can use this as a place to surface information. So just imagine if you receive objections during these calls, we can use this to surface some battle cards. And I'm going to quickly, show it to you so you can see how it works. So just imagine during the conversation, if my client or prospect says, hey, I'd like you can take manual notes, and we built this to help sellers, write their manual notes if they really have to. So if they see some nonverbal cues, like for example, Eddie wasn't engaged when I, show my screen or was doing demo, etc., I can add it here. But I don't have to do this because SellMeThisPen Copilot will take all the notes, update the CRM, and also draft the email right after each call. And I'm going to show you right after this one, so you can see how that works after the call is done.
Can I try to say a couple of statements around maybe pricing or some questions to see how this reacts to also my side of the conversation?
Yes, you can, but you have to
Uh,
unmute yourself on Google Meet.
yeah, let me give it a try.
Sure. So, Eddie, just to give you a heads up, so That's absolutely correct.
All
All
right,
right.
fantastic, Michael. What else would you like to show us around sell me this pen?
So I'm going to show you the third and last module, which is a post call. And let me see if I can get it up here. All right. Can you see my screen?
Mm, yes, sir, I see it.
Okay, awesome. So just imagine the client conversation is over and you want to see your results. So here, all my manual notes will be saved. We have a call summary as well. So we add all these conversations in the right bucket, and this can be customized based on companies' methodologies or best practices. And also, we draft a follow-up email. Again, everything you see here, you can customize it based on what works actually best for your organization. And you can update your CRM if you use HubSpot or Salesforce with a one click. So this way, again, reps don't need to spend time doing all this manual admin work.
A quick question. So, for example, depending on the qualification criteria of a company, if they use Medic or they use Bent,
Yep.
could you set it up in a way that if band is said, like the prospect mentions what their budget is during the call, it's automatically documented in a way that on the AI call summary section, we would see band, we would see what are the values for each of the qualifiers, and maybe what is even pending to ask. Could we program such a thing? That even so, for instance, on the call, do not let the rep, hey, don't finish the call before asking about authority or validating XYZ.
That's absolutely correct. So you can custom build this based on your methodology. Like here, this is what I'm using for my calls, which is kind of like a mishmash of gap selling and MIDIC, but you can build it based on your own, best practices or your rubrics, if you will.
Fantastic.
Awesome. So again, speaking of coaching, after each conversation with your clients, you get text-based coaching. This could be again built based on your best practices. So you can even custom build the way you offer coaching to your reps. So that's a possibility as well. But my favorite part is having a conversation with the AI coach instead of just reading a bunch of text. So I'm going to quickly show you that as well. By the way, I believe you cannot hear this right now because I'm sharing my window. Let's keep this for the end. I'm going to share my tab at the end and show you this one-on-one coaching for a role play, if that's okay with you.
Perfect. Yeah, yeah, that's fine.
Okay, awesome. So here, last but not least, you get your playbook adoption. So remember, we had this option for reps to choose a playbook during the calls. So here again, if you are, let's say, VP of Sales or CRO, you want to test out some hypothesis in terms of, rolling out a new playbook or a methodology. This way, you can easily see if people are adopting to it, how they are asking these questions or skipping them, what kind of answers they receive from their prospects or clients. And also, the beauty of it is reps don't have to be scripted. So as long as they're within context and say something similar to, let's say, this question, AI can pick it up and give you a reality check whether they're asking questions or actually skipping them.
Michael, I can't help but wonder. You mentioned some of the targets, some of the companies at the beginning that could be a good criteria or a good fit, rather, for your product.
Yeah.
I'm wondering also sales agencies or training agencies, right, that train reps and
Yep.
then hand them off to their clients. It could be in their best interest to inject a system like this that it's going to continue to polish, and
Yep.
it's almost like the QA process, the quality assurance process of, hey, this rep is executing the process that you guys hired me to inject in your company, and as long as they keep their scores above, let's say, 90% on the platform. Oh, what happens if they go below 90? use the platform to get coach. Where else can we see the parameters, how that's working? Playbook adoption. You'll get the green checks, the red checks, everything. The scoring is in the system, the summary is in the system, the coaching is in the system, the methodology, right? Like as we said earlier, if they use a certain qualifying criteria, if you train as a trainer, as a consultancy firm, if you use that method and you inject it in, sell me this pen, right? That AI,
Yep.
then you now have a system that not only you are spending your time in training and coaching and delivering the sessions, but have a system that can, let's say, stand the test of time in ensuring that whatever you injected continues to be implemented and continues to yield results for your clients.
That's absolutely correct. You're a smart man. We actually have quite a few sales outsourcing agencies or sales training companies actually leveraging SellMeThisPen today. So that's definitely a use case.
Fantastic, fantastic. All right, so you were showing us the playbook. Yep.
All right. Last but not least, you got the dashboard for actual client calls and also role plays. It role plays, you get some reality check about areas of improvement for your team and each individual. You can see how many role plays they're running, the average score they're actually hitting. And also you have a leaderboard. This way you can see who's actually performing, how. And this way, if you want to run, let's say, a competition, that could be a fun little, functionality that you can leverage on SellMeThisPen.
Beautiful, beautiful. Gamification, let's say, is a theme these days when it really helps with user adoption. It really helps people like stack up in the leaderboard and try to aim for 100% accuracy, performance, results, etc. Right?
That is absolutely correct. So
Fantastic.
I'm going to just close this screen and share my tab again because I'm really excited to show you the one-on-one coaching as well. And then I think we can wrap it up.
Awesome. Let's go ahead and take a look at that.
All right.
I've always been wondering, it's just a matter of time before all this information about your coaching sessions, your areas of opportunities, and basically the system where your performance is stored can be accessed by an AI assistant that you can interact with. And I feel that that's what we are just about to experience.
Yes, sir. So let me share my tab. So this is just an example of a role play that we ran recently. And this AI, we call it a voice coach for one-on-one coaching, could actually help not only for role plays, but real client conversations as well. So let's say when you have your client calls, you can still run this one-on-one session with your coach, and you can customize your coach based on your best practices, based on your methodology, based on your, let's say, sales process and product and services that you offer to your clients. All right, so if you're ready, let's give it a shot.
Yep, let's take a look.
Hey, let's talk about your performance. How do you think you did?
Well, 30%. It seems like I could do better, but I'm curious to hear your feedback.
I appreciate your honesty, and I think you're right on the mark with that 30%. You started strong with a permission-based opener, which is great, but there were some key areas where you missed the mark. You didn't really dive into the common challenges your clients face or ask Bruce about his top priorities. That's crucial for connecting with him. It seemed like you were talking to someone who might be a sales leader or decision maker, but without addressing their specific pain points.
All right, I'm going to stop it right here. Again, the way I set it up, my AI coach is to give me a quick rundown of everything. So everything that I need to be more careful next time when I role play or go on client calls. You can set it up the way that it basically give you some reality check about each part of your conversation. So let's say if setting agenda, you didn't do a good job, it can stop and ask you, hey, what do you think about my feedback? And then you can, ask AI, how would you phrase these questions differently? Give me some suggestions so next time I can try, different ways of phrasing my questions or comments, etc., etc. So you have all this flexibility to build an AI coach that actually works for you and your use case.
That's beautiful. A lot of times, the give me an example, right? The lead by example element, it's what's missing in the coaching sessions happening worldwide. And this can be a great supplement because the AI is never going to get tired. It could be 3 a.m. and you're practicing by yourself at home. You can be in the office in the middle of a heavy and busy floor, but still you'll have access to a coach, even though they're assisting someone else. Guess what? You have your AI coach always present. Um, there's one thing I don't want us to wrap the episode without covering, and it's a little peek under the hood. Because I noticed, for instance, when you started this interaction, one of the main feedbacks is, "Hey, great job using a permission-based opener." And I've seen that in sales, there's a lot of schools that some like the permission-based, some don't want the permission-based. Can all those things be programmed? Maybe the answer is yes, but then how much is the heavy lifting when it comes to setting up the system, setting up the variables, the parameter? Let's say if we take a quick peek under the hood for a manager, for a potential VP of sales looking at this and deciding, hey, am I going to have to do this? Can I assign it to a sales engineer? Or what type of talent do I even need to set such a system and be able to run this Ferrari, coaching Ferrari for my team?
That's a great question. So let me show you what you will get out of a box. So when you get access to Sell Me the Spend, there are areas that you can easily, custom build yourself. So you can upload, let's say, your training materials or call scripts if you have. And also, we offer Gongi integration with our enterprise packages. So this way, again, you can automate part of building your own workspace, if you will. But some parts, like your AI coach, can easily be just copy pasting some information from your website, from your playbook. So you don't need to spend a lot of time tweaking things. To get started, again, we always suggest to our clients, just start with the basics, add some information relevant to your use case, and then you can tweak while actually leveraging the tool. For scorecards, you mentioned for example, permission-based opener. Some people maybe don't like that. Maybe it works differently from each industry to another. So you can simply build your own scorecards. The platform comes with some templates you can leverage, but for enterprise clients, we pretty much build everything from day one. So we typically do a pilot and we build some use cases, and it's an iterative process where we tweak everything based on our clients' needs. But even out of box, you have all the options to either use some of our templates that we build based on best practices, or you can simply build your own let's say customization, if you will.
Amazing. Now, crazy idea here, or crazy question. I imagine that when your clients have, for instance, battle cards for objection handling, it's going to be pretty easy, right? Objection, recommend that answer, and then everything around that could be easily injected into an LLM. But how about, could you feed them a book? Let's say I have a couple of account executives that I want to train, and I want to upskill them on negotiation, and I want to feed them Never Split the Difference by Chris Voss, or a
Mhm.
couple of prospecting guys, and I want to feed them Fanatical Prospecting by Jeb Blunt. Could I do such a thing with your team? I guess, and in those cases, it would be, as you mentioned, an enterprise type of account. I would have maybe a customer success type of contact in which I would have that, let's say, assistant. Hey, buddy, I want to upload these couple of books into your platform for the coaching methodologies. Can you help me do that? Is that how it would work? Help us clarify that, please.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, it could work based on your methodology. You said Chris Voss, I'm a big fan as well. So depending on your playbook and your sales methodology, everything can be custom built. So some parts, again, possible out of a box. So you can simply, again, copy paste some of these ideas to your AI coach or build the role plays. Just to quickly, show you what could be possible here. So even with the most basic packages that we offer, you can add all the details about your buyer persona, give background, give personality, write about their common challenges. Or when it comes to objections, again, you can go as deep as you need based on what you hear during these conversations. So things like this are possible. You can do it yourself. But for enterprise, again, depending on the size of the account, if this is something our clients actually wish for, we build custom models for them. So it could be based on any methodology, based on their playbook. We literally have clients with hundreds of pages of, let's say, training materials and sales methodologies, and sometimes they have multiple sales methodologies when it comes to bigger, sales organizations. And we can embed
Right.
that to our models so it become more relevant to your specific use case.
That's fantastic, Michael. Well, it's been a pleasure learning about Tell Me This Pen AI. Is there anything else you would like to share before we wrap it up?
No, that's pretty much it. I guess we cover everything.
Beautiful, Michael. Well, it's been a great session. If you are curious to learn more about Sell Me This Pen AI and the use cases for your specific company, I invite you to visit the CloudTools Marketplace where you can find Michael's solution and be able to book some time. Michael, thank you so much for your time today. It's been a pleasure.
My pleasure, Eddie. Thank you very much for your time.